Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Idol Talk, where we explore South Korean pop culture one obsession at a time. My name is Nathan, and I'm your host.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and in the words of our humble king, Key, I'm good, I'm great, because I'm grateful.
I was so confused because you're like humble king, and I was like, he, a humble king.
I know. The song is a little, I don't know the meaning behind his latest title track, but it's just a funny phrase. I'm good, I'm great, because I'm grateful.
It's giving a little conceited in a good way. You just gotta hype yourself a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. Gabe?
Hey everyone, it's Gabe, and it's been a while since we've talked about the boy groups because they've been, not charted. I think I saw a tweet where it was like 2023 is the first year where there's been no boy group that's reached #1 on the chart, like ever so far. So we'll see if that record holds.
We'll see. And as Gabe mentioned, we are going to chat a little bit about the boy groups and male solos that have come out in the last month or so. And Ashley is going to kick us off with the big one.
With a banger. Yes. So my recommendation is by my firstborn son, Jung Kook. This is his second pre-release single, and it was released on September 29, and the title is 3D featuring Jack Harlow.
So if you're ready, and if you let me, I wanna see it in motion in 3D. You won't regret me. Champagne confetti. I wanna see it in motion in 3D. 'Cause you know I like it, girl. 3D. You know I like it, girl. 3D.
So, like I said, this is the second pre-release to his album that is releasing on November 3rd, titled Golden. I just want to make a comment that pre-releases are becoming a thing now. This was not a thing 4 years ago when we started this podcast, but for some reason, like everyone is doing minimum 2 pre-releases or minimum 1 pre-release.
Right.
2 maximum, it seems. But anyway,
I think it's a good way to sell the album because when you throw in like 10 songs at one time, it's really overwhelming.
That's
and
true.
Things can get lost.
That's very true.
So
this is a follow-up to his first pre-release, which is 7 featuring Lotto. This song, 3D, is a R&B pop song that uses impressive minimalist instrumental composition and percussion rhythms to create a nostalgic sound. They purposely made this song to sound like a 2000s pop song. And when I first heard it, the first thing I thought of was Justin Timberlake's song Senorita. Because it kind of has like a not like a Latin type of vibe to it, but it like
there's
a little bit
of it.
Yeah, it's a little bit bouncy. The song meaning is very explicit. Basically, it's about him talking to someone over the phone, they're FaceTiming, they're like basically video sexting or whatever the equivalent of, like they're just like hooking up over FaceTime, and he's like, I'm done with the 2D. I want to meet you in 3D and fuck. So yeah, Jungkook is in his.
Would that not be like 4D?
I know, right? Yeah.
Anyways.
I would categorize this as his horny era. He's talking a lot about sex in his recent releases. And yeah, overall, I think it's a really good song. Like if you just take away like the horny meaning, it's fun to listen to. It's fun to dance to. I really enjoy the Jack Harlow feature. And for us listeners or for the listeners who don't know who Jack Harlow is an American rapper. He was from Kentucky. He is 98 line, so he's about the same age as Jung Kook. Jung Kook is 97 line. Jack Harlow started making music in 2014, but didn't blow up until 2017. And then his most famous song, I think, because this is really the only song that I know of his, is the Fergalicious remix song, whatever the name of that song is. Do you know?
So
Do
I
you know this
don't
song?
know really anything about Jack Harlow, to be honest. So my question is, how do you think that these collabs come to life? Just as a speculation, is Jungkook like, oh, I want Jack Harlow on this track? Or does it happen in some other way? Like, is this random or not? And I'm asking this as someone that doesn't know much
Yeah,
about people like Jack
I
Harlow and Lotto.
have two thoughts about that. So
Okay.
Lotto and Jack Harlow, they're like mainstream pop nowadays. They have some big hits, but they're not like, Justin Bieber level. They're like,
Right.
I
And
would
it's
say
not
they're like
like
A
a
minus tier.
okay. Yeah, because it's definitely not like a Nicki Minaj Idol feature, right?
Right.
Like they're not Nicki.
No, they're not. They
They're not
are,
Halsey.
they're like up and coming. I would I wouldn't even say up and coming because I mean, obviously Jack Harlow,
He's
let's
been in
say
the game for a long
yeah,
time. Yeah.
debuting in 2014, he's been around, but like he is well known, but like more well known with the younger people nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Lotto too. But it could be that they like their label, I think they probably are maybe signed with the same label in America. Another thought that I have is so the producer of 3D, I think one of the writers or producers, he goes by Blood Pop, that's his alias. And he's a Kentucky, like he's from Kentucky. He produced, I don't know if he produced or if he wrote Sorry by Justin Bieber. Like he's a really big producer. And because he was originally from Kentucky, Jack Harlow is also from Kentucky. So maybe these like Kentucky boys know each other, and that's how Jack Harlow got on
Okay.
the song. I don't know. I feel like Kentucky is not a very big place, and maybe people know each other there. You
Okay.
know?
So do you feel like this is a little bit like this collab is a little bit random?
No,
Okay, so it isn't random.
I think it's obviously random for K-pop, but if you consider this like a American pop song, then I don't think it's random
Okay,
because Jack Harlow is pretty big.
fair enough. My reactions is that yes, I think Jungkook is feeling some type of way, and he is using his music platform to express,
Himself.
really express, and just go for it.
What's so funny is he did a interview with Spotify's K-pop on playlist,
Mm-hmm.
and they're asking him like, what is this song about? Like, why did you choose to create this song? And his responses are so PG. It's like, this song is about someone that you want to meet in real life because you've just been talking to them over the phone. And
That's not what the choreo that's not what the choreo tells me, my
I
dear.
know it's not, but and then he's like, the reason why I did this song is because I wanted to show listeners and fans like a different side of me. Like the generic K-pop descriptions.
Jungkook, I've seen this side of you. I've seen
I
it.
know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gabe, did you have any thoughts on the song?
Um, yeah, my reaction was just he's announcing to the world that he is ready
He is.
to,
Get it on.
yeah. And like, I don't know how, like, okay, so imagine you're Jungkook, right? And you're like, I am ready to like,
F
uh,
around. Yeah.
yes. Like, how do you go about that? Because like normal people, they just like go on Tinder or something, right? But like, if you're
Yes.
Jungkook, like like, how does that
Like,
I
how do you
work?
make
know.
it happen? Well, you got to make it happen, and then you got to have like a contract,
An
a
Yeah.
NDA.
non-disclosure.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
got to
so,
have
like, is
like
this his way
bodyguards
of, like,
around your house.
announcing is this his way of, like, announcing to, like, the entire celebrity class that he's, like, on the market? Like, what is the
Hmm.
I'm just very interested in, like, the actual logistics of how this would happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that uh it's so funny that people like the reactions to this video and to the choreography have been so funny online because a lot of his dance moves are like very explicit, like I like it,
Yes.
girl. Yeah. Like, and people in the comments of the video are like I can't believe he's dancing this way, like because K-pop traditionally has not been this explicit. And this is I people are still considering this K-pop. It's still on the K-pop on playlist, even though it's all English, whatever. But people are just like up in arms about his new image, and people also in the comments are like defending him, like what do you expect a 26-year-old to be doing, like obviously he's out there having sex with people, like why are you so offended by it? So I'm team Jungkook, experience life, if you want to be in your horny era, like
Mm.
go ahead and do that.
I'm not
But
offended by it. Who cares?
I know. Yeah, but a lot of people are.
And I think I think he doesn't. I don't think he has to care.
I don't think he does
Um,
care.
yeah, clearly he doesn't care. I just think for me that I feel like the concept of sex in songs is short-lived and has no longevity.
Right.
Like it has
Mhm.
no like staying power. It's just
Yes, I
the
agree
one
with you.
shock factor, and then you got to go back to do something that you're really known for. Because at the end of the day, Seven is not really jarring anymore in the way that it
Mm-hmm.
was how many months ago? 3 or 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that it's a bad song, it's a good song, but like the shock factor is going to leave us pretty
Yeah, and I
quickly.
I agree with you. My opinion of this like concept is that it's a little bit lazy. Like there are only so many ways that it is like witty in the way that he's talking about hooking up with this person, but it's not like I don't know,
It's not groundbreaking.
creative,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good song, and I think that it captures attention. But for me, it'd be like, oh, how long does it
right,
capture shock factor attention?
right.
Um, but I mean, he could do whatever he wants at this point because he's in the top 0.0001%
Yes.
of K-pop idols that are outliers in the world at the end of the day. So this two pre-releases. So are we going to finally get a title track from him for the album? It
Yes.
looks like in
So
November.
his his album is going to be released on November 3rd, and there's going to be a title track that's released a couple days prior. And the album I think I saw that it was going to be 11 tracks.
That's a
So
lot.
a full-length album.
That's a lot. I
I'm
think it's going to
excited
sell
for
like
it.
crazy.
I'm excited for it. I was really thinking of pre-ordering it. I really love the title of the album too, Golden,
Mm-hmm.
because that's his whole thing. You know, he's the golden
Golden
matinee, and he's been using golden in his like stuff from the beginning. Like he when he was doing like a vlog series, he called it Golden Films, Golden Matinee Films or whatever.
So it's true to him.
Him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it from the YouTuber's perspective. I'm just like, dude, he's 26. He's a young man.
Live his life.
So I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ashley. Moving from Jung Kook to Dio, which that's going to be my recommendation for this time around, is EXO Dio's latest title track, and it's called Somebody.
I want somebody, 걸음이 더디긴 해도 I want somebody, 뜨겁게 타진 않더라도 모든 내 방식들이 다 답인 듯이 또 가만히 내 손을 잡아주는 내 맘속에 누군가 다가와 주길 바래. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
So Somebody was released off of Dio's second mini album called Expectation on September 18th. And Somebody is considered from the professional circles, it's considered a folk pop song. Quite frankly, I don't really know what that means, but I see it as a slower paced acoustic pop song that is really, really true to Dio's style, his simple, stripped down vocals with very limited instrumentals in the background that really highlight the ways that we know that he can sing. The song itself and the album as a whole is quite nearly the antithesis of Jungkook's 3D. Whereas Jungkook is frolicking around and wanting to explore his options, Dio is ready to settle down. Ashley,
Yes.
is that what your take of it is?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
He's ready to meet somebody, the love of his life. It doesn't matter how long it takes for him to wait. He'll wait for the right person.
Feel your passion, Ashley.
Yes.
So yes, I think that's what the song really talks about. Somebody, no matter how long, how hard, he's on the quest to look for this somebody. It's gonna take a lot, and it'll often lead to heartbreak, but he is ready to keep searching. That was my take of the video or of the song. And then music video, it's really interesting. It really highlights his kind of dual capacities in the K industry of K-pop idol, but then also actor. In the music video, he plays a cameraman, and he is comforting this young girl who is shooting a commercial, and she doesn't do all that well, but at the end, like, she gets kind of sad that she doesn't do that well, and Dio's just kind of there for her at the end, and then at the end also asks her for her autograph to make her feel better. I don't know why she was wearing the angel wings. I didn't really get that, but
I think it's just like 2000s. It's a thing people are doing nowadays.
okay, yeah, I didn't really understand that. But the music video also just highlighted his very simple acting that a lot of people have come to really like. And overall, I don't know, I just thought it was a really good, solid release with
Yes.
a simple, high quality song that I would expect from him. No choreo, just simple.
Yes. I
Warm,
agree.
warm and loving. Good
Yes.
for slowing us out of summer into, it's like 90 degrees outside for me, but
Fall.
edging towards edging towards fall and winter, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yes. I think that this release is excellent. Very true to Dio. The music video was so heartwarming. The song is very heartwarming, you know, like the meaning behind the song. Um, the story in the music video, it made me think because Dio is this this character, like the persona that SM has crafted for Dio. It made me think like, is this really how he is in real life? Or is this just like the persona that SM created? I feel like maybe they're one and the same because based upon like EXO videos, behind the scenes videos that I've watched, like they always talk about Dio as like a very stone faced, like really in touch with his emotions, um, emotionally intelligent, uh, that type of person. And so it
Mhm.
makes me think they're one and the same, but it also made me question like, is this really it? Because in the music video, that like that is how I imagine Dio to go after a girl that he likes, you know. He was comforting her, so this girl is crying because she like messed up in the commercial, and he just goes over to her. She's crying on the staircase. He goes over to her, sticks a bag, like a plastic black bag in front of her, and he's like, "Eat." That's all he says. And inside, like he's eating a popsicle. There's obviously a popsicle inside of this bag, and he's just like, eat. Doesn't even like say anything like, oh, how are you feeling? Like, I know that must have been hard. He just goes, eat.
That's very interesting love languages. I think that it's one and the same. Maybe that's my bias, like talking,
Yeah.
my positive affect towards him. But I mean, he's been in the industry so long, and this is what I perceive of him.
Yes.
And
Same.
even in like uncut footage and stuff, he's just like, I don't know, standing in the corner, waiting for Chaniel to troll him. Like that's just what it is. Like
Yeah.
very subdued, stone-faced, as you call it, emotionally intelligent, but uh, on the surface, like emotionless,
Yes.
like doesn't express a lot. Doesn't like to be actually in front of the camera, likes to be a little bit behind sometimes, which is interesting because that's what the music video also portrays. But then he's always in front of cameras, which is also interesting. There's just like he's like a multi-layered, like there's just so
Yes.
much complexity out of this simple human.
Yes. And they captured it very well in the music video.
Yes. In any case, he also released a pre-release track, similarly to what Ashley was talking about. Even people like Dio are doing it now. And I really do think that that's such a smart idea because actually, now that I think about it, if you release a whole album of 11 songs and just have the title, that's a lot to consume.
Mm-hmm.
So I like how people are highlighting like one or two things before the actual release. And it usually makes you want to listen to the whole album a little bit more. It's like, okay, I know the song, I can relax a little bit. Um, what I particularly liked about this pre-release track, which was also on the second mini album, it was called I Do, which again fit in well with the concept of the album, which was desire to find love, in my opinion. Seemingly was a sequel to one of his first singles right before he left to the military, titled It's Okay, because the music references cactuses,
Mm-hmm.
which was present in his previous releases, and then also was subdued in terms of color,
Yes.
which Ashley very early on last month excitedly pointed out to me. So I thought that that was also like musically, like it was also very acoustic, stripped down, and did seem like a follow-up to one of his first releases. Anyone else have any other thoughts on this release?
Yeah, as I was listening to this, in contrast to the previous song we discussed, I was like, wow, this is such a different way to approach a similar kind of concept.
Desire.
Yeah. And I feel
Desire.
like it's because Jungkook is really trying to like pander to that Western audience, you know?
Mm,
Oh yeah, for sure.
mhm, mhm.
Whereas Dio and the EXO members, they know that they're very like they know that their audience is in South Korea, and so that's how they're going to express it.
That's a great point. That's a great
Yeah.
point. I have my preferences.
Not that one is better than the other or vice versa. They're just different ways to approach, you know.
That's true. And the American audience is more used to raunchy stuff and may generally find Dio style of approaching more, like for lack of a better word, like not as interesting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right? So
more niche.
more, yeah. So yeah, these two go really well together now that I'm thinking about it, Ashley. Um,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that the one thing, like, I thought just as a closing remark, the entire album was really good and didn't show was unlike other SM albums where they really try to show different sides of the artist. I feel like this one was very comprehensive in terms of it showed one side of Dio that everyone knows and loves, which is like the simple stripped down pop music. Like I could probably play this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on like at like a coffee shop and it wouldn't feel like you're moving from one side to the other. It'd feel like it flowed really well together. Whereas like in other pop albums, you have like a hard hitting song and then you have a ballad, right? In his album, we didn't actually get like a true ballad, right? But we got a lot of lo-fi like acoustic pop songs, which
Yeah.
is true to what his one of his strengths are. All right. This is, this my people that are following Idol Talk Pod know that this is my ultimate bias. And I told Casey that I understand how she feels when he came out with his first mini album. So I'm always super excited when he comes out with stuff. And I know that Ashley is too.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Gabe is going to finish us off here.
Okay, so gonna switch gears a little bit. My recommendation for this time around is actually the debut of a new group that was formed by 7 members of the Boys Planet show who didn't make the debut lineup. Um, and this song is called Trouble by Even.
Trouble. Trouble. Ready me. Yeah, that's right. I'm a little butterfly, 물결이 놀라. 예상할 수 없는 way you feel like 점점 참숨이 계속 내게 와. 멈출 수 없어. Because my name is Trouble.
Even is a group that was formed by Jellyfish Entertainment. It's 7 members and it's made up of Keita, Park Han-bin, Lee Jong-hyun, Yoo Sung-un, Ji Yoon-seo, Moon Jung-hyun, and Park Ji-hoo. And they all got like 11, 12, 15, 16th. And the lowest ranked person here got 41st on the Boys Planet show. So it's like people who did pretty well, um, which is good because there were some really questionable trainees on that show. So if they had formed a group with like last place people, I would not have signed off on that.
Yeah.
And so Keita, who I think is like the sort of, I don't know if they really identified a leader, but he's like sort of the de facto like leader because he's already debuted in the group before. He is under Rain's company, and then there's 2 trainees who are from Yuehua, and then 4 trainees who are from Wake One.
So they are from different agencies.
Yeah. And then Jellyfish
Oh,
is the company that's managing this group. So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's gonna be, I don't know if this is like a 7-year group or if it's just gonna be like a temporary, like 2-year kind of deal, but um yeah, it's a different company that's running the group than where all the trainees are coming from.
interesting.
So the song itself, Trouble, it was released on September 19th, and I don't, the best way to describe it is that it sort of has like this really, it has like a distorted, syncopated, driving kind of beat that goes throughout the whole song. And I was kind of looking into what genre this was, and people were saying that it was like a breakbeat influenced song, or like
A break
more
beat?
specific, yeah, which is defined as um like a fast syncopated rhythm using like repeated drum beat samples. Um, I don't know. That's just the musical terms for it.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, the way I see it is just like a distorted kind of driving beat that goes throughout the whole song. Um, and so I was reading some reviews about the song, and a lot of them were mixed. There was one person who said that the dry like, at the beginning, when you first hear this kind of distorted beat, it's, like, interesting because it's not something that appears in K-pop very much, um, but then after a while, because it's just always there, it really gets kinda tiring,
Mhm.
and so people were saying that by the end of the song, they were like, "Okay, this has gone on, like, too long." Um, but, I mean, the song itself, I think it's a typical boy group song. They're talking about, like, how they're the trouble and, like, they're moving fast and, like, going places, and there's, like, race cars and, like, in the music video, and there's, like, people throwing papers and, like, just, like, explosions and things. So, it was kind of a standard release. I'm happy that these boys from Boys Planet got to have their debut moment.
Mhm.
And, Jellyfish is really kind of taking a risk with this music style and concept, so I applaud them for that. Um, but otherwise, I don't think it was really a hit. That's my opinion. Like, it was interesting and kind of different, but I don't know if it was to the benefit of the group.
Mm.
Interested to hear your thoughts.
Ashley, I'll defer to you first.
Yeah. So, it it's interesting that this may be a temporary, like the second temporary group that comes out of Boys Planet, because normally people just go back to their home bases and then they
Mm-hmm.
create groups there. Or like I was totally expecting Keita to make a comeback with Cypher. Like what's going on with Cypher? Like their rapper dude is on another with another group. But yeah, I'm curious to see how long this group will be a group for. If the purpose of making this temporary group was to like continue off the hype of Boys Planet, then they should have picked a different sound. Because this song is just not what I expect from people from Boys Planet. I expect they're all very young. So right off the bat, I expect like young concept. I think that the ZB1 concept, it was fresh, it was high teen. Like I expect music that's kind of in line with what the show provided,
Mm.
because
Mhm.
that's the way that I know these boys, and so I want to see more of like those type of concepts in their future music. And this was like, it was very mature, You know, they're all in suits in some stages, and I just miss like little boy concept. Like what is that like concept called? It's not called little boy concept. Like it's just like young concept.
Yeah, like the school kind of age stuff.
Yes.
Trainee
Yeah.
style.
Right, right, right. Happy, not so aggressive.
Right.
I thought the song was fine, but I just would have preferred a different concept.
Like a rise concept.
Yes, fresh, you know? Like if you're gonna debut a new group, like make it fresh, make it something that has like lasting power.
Would you say that ZB1's Bloom was fresh? I think that it was an attempt to fresh. It wasn't hard hitting, but it also wasn't fresh, right?
You know, it wasn't like new jeans, groundbreaking. You know, it wasn't. I think you're right in saying that it was an attempt to fresh.
Yeah, I think it was an attempt. I think they really tried to stay away from the pressure of hard-hitting boy group, standard hard-hitting boy group release.
Yes.
And they withstood that pressure as much as they could, but then like 1 week before they were like, well, we gotta pull it back a little bit
Yes.
in the standard direction. But I thought it was a good attempt to fresh.
I think that the song is not a skip. It's one of those songs where like In Bloom is one of those songs where if you have it in the background, like it's good enough to listen to and you just like let it play, you know? But this song, I don't know if there is like a mood, at least for me, where I would let this play.
Interesting. I saw a review online that said that this was like, I actually saw really positive things about this, and maybe that's because in general people are pretty positive in general in K-pop, but or the fandom is going to be positive no matter what. But
Yes.
I saw that people were saying that this was noise pop done right.
Oh.
And I think it kind of captured how I was feeling. Like again, I wouldn't say that it went right, but I don't think that it went wrong.
It kind of sounds like structured noise pop.
Yeah, like something went right with this noise pop, which is a very big staple in the K-pop industry, right? So I was like, oh yeah, I was like, okay, it's definitely noise pop, and it worked to a certain extent. Would I personally listen to it again? Probably not, but
Right.
I think it did work for some people because it was not just noise pop, it was noise pop done right. In a way that ITZY noise pop cake did not work for me, and seemingly did not work for their comeback reception. We haven't talked about that. I always bring up. I mean, if we're talking about noise pop, that is ITZY. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm
ITZY is,
just
I don't
of the
know.
opinion that we need to leave noise pop in the past.
I think so too. I mean, I think so. I
Like
think
this,
noise pop can
like
work. It just usually doesn't.
yeah, and like after what, there's people who just like ITZY, for example. They just keep going and going and going with the noise pop, and it's not working. And
Yeah,
so at some point, you
another
just
group I
gotta
would
move on.
yeah, another group I would say who has done the noise pop, who seems as though they're getting away from the noise pop, is aespa.
A little bit
Oh,
going
thank
away.
God.
A little bit going away.
Yeah, because their concept was cool when it came out, but now, I mean, like their future concept, it's not so prevalent anymore. You know, they have better things. They have like
Spicy wasn't noise pop in my
Spicy.
opinion. Yeah.
Right. Right.
But then their
So
biggest hit was a little
next
noise
level.
pop.
I
Yes.
know. I think noise pop had its time and place, but you guys are both right. I think it's time to move on.
What do you say to the boy groups that are having a lot of success with noise pop, like Stray Kids? Would people consider Stray Kids noise pop? That's my hot take. Is it not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've
I
listened
mean,
to a
Stray
lot of
Kids is
Stray Kids.
they're doing well, but they're not like their songs don't chart on their songs
Yeah,
don't chart.
their songs
Period.
don't chart, period. But they
Yeah,
sell mega albums.
I know, but that's like every boy group,
That's
right?
true. That's true. That's not necessarily an outlier.
Yeah.
Okay, we
I
can
think
have a
we're getting away from the place where like album sales are actually indicative of like
because
music
they're
quality.
just yeah, because people will sell and sell and sell.
Yeah. So I think we gotta like more power to the fandoms that can buy up however many albums, but if you can't get a song to chart, then I think that should be the indicator. At least for me, that's the indicator.
I think we'll have a lot to talk about in this year-end roundup, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Thank you to our host today for this interesting conversation. We got a little bit of everything again, especially with the polarized attempts to find love for two of our soloists. Okay. We are on Instagram at Idle Talk Pod. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on all of our major podcast directories and streaming platforms. We also have our email, idletalkpod@gmail.com, where you should feel free to send us any feedback or content requests. Lastly, we have our content directory, idletalkpod.uu.ai, where you'll see previous episodes categorized, including playlists, song recommendations, concert, and K-drama reviews, as well as information about us, and it could be found in the description of our episodes here. But until next time, we will be back with another episode next week, so we'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.
Bye.